was very substantial reduction in labor productivity last summer, wasn't there? And I'm just wondering whether that doesn't put a damper on the reemployment.
Well, in terms of productivity growth, actually we had about a 7% annualized rate of growth of productivity in the last 3 quarters of 2009. So, to your point, actually productivity, which I think is what you mean, has been actually rising very rapidly, which has reduced the demand for employment. And the question is, have at some point, have companies overdone? I mean, you have people like, Janine was telling me, they've cut staff and, publishing newspapers, people are doing more and more, at some point, how hard can you push people? And clearly in the manufacturing sector, though, that has kind of gotten to its limits where, manufacturers had seen productivity really explode, and now they're recalling furloughed workers, calling up temporary work, and so you've seen the actual employment increase in manufacturing. The service sector, though, still may have some slack where they could still draw out some productivity gains. But to your point, I think that is probably one of the more compelling arguments for employment growth, is that productivity growth has been so strong in the last year that we may be reaching the limits, and so companies may need a few more bodies to actually get the work done, keep the products on the shelf, and deliver the service. Because I've been telling a lot of our clients, in the last 2 years it's all been about price, and now you're going to have to deliver on the service side. And if you go into a store now, you're looking around for somebody to help you. You shoot a cannon through the store. You can't find a salesperson to help you. At some point, you're just going to walk out the door, and companies are going to realize that may be happening. Yes.
Yeah, you would raise as a long-term issue that we have come to distrust markets. I guess I would gently challenge, how long is our memory going to be, and is at some point we're going to have a renewed faith in the markets, or I guess is some sort of morph to maybe being more accepting of government? I guess I just want to hear a little.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I hope you're right. I guess I've been somewhat discouraged in the last year that we just seem to have this free market advocates like Alan Greenspan, who had so much faith in the market, seemed to throw in the towel and say, well, the market's missed it. And now we are. I was hearing, I don't know if many of you remember George Shultz. He was Treasury Secretary. I think he's in his 80s now, but he was on the National Public TV. And I mean, he was saying, I remember the days of Penn Central, where everyone was in this panic. If you let Penn Central fail, the world was going to explode. And Penn Central, failed, and things were okay. I mean, it's not even clear that the whole fear in the markets and the consumers with Lehman was when it became a political issue, when you had these congressmen testifying and all the public officials testifying that if government didn't do something, you wouldn't get your paycheck and the world would blow up. So it seems like we almost overreacted on the other side, that again, that everyone is too big to fail. Every institution in every country is now too big to fail. And so I'm hoping you're right. But at this point, it's a little discouraging to me that we sort of abandoned the discipline of the marketplace. Yes?
In your last slide, you were talking, you mentioned someone's name whose reports and analysis.
Oh, Janina Versa here at the Associated Press.
The Associated Press?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Is the state of California too big to fail?
Is the state of California too big to fail? Probably. But actually, California, just an update, it actually is not falling into the ocean yet. Yes. But actually, if you look at the trend of employment, it seems to have turned the corner. We've actually added jobs in the last few months. The state tax receipts are coming in above expectations, and it would appear, for instance, Silicon Valley, a lot of the consumer, the Googles and a lot of the Apples, those guys are cranking up. Qualcomm in Southern California doing well, so a lot of tech companies are doing well in international trade. So it seems like California, typically it does follow the U.S. like clockwork. The housing market in many parts of the state seems to be turning higher, so it does appear that California is coming out of the morass. But we still do have a budget deficit, although, relative to our economy, it's not that much worse than anybody else's. We're all in the soup together.